There are a lot of things that have me excited for FIFA 23. The new chemistry system, a new game mode, and of course a completely fresh market to trade on. But there's also a lot of things that could be a huge letdown this year, and that's exactly what we're going through in today's video. But before we do get into the video, if you're looking to hit the ground running with FIFA 23 by actually starting with some coins, there is no better place than Mule Factory. Head over there to get yourself some cheap, fast FIFA 23 coins, completely reliable, and if you use Fnatic5 at checkout, you also get yourself a 5% discount. Link can be found in the description down below. Getting back into the video, I did a video like this last year talking about my worries for FIFA 22, and even though there was some stuff which never happened, there was also quite a few things that did end up being true and did end up being a huge letdown within the game. So this year I want to do a very similar thing so that by the end of FIFA 23 we can look back at this video and point out what things went well and what things didn't. So firstly, a very obvious one is the first patch. The first title update normally breaks the game when it's actually supposed to make it better. But so far in my existence, there hasn't been a first title update which actually improves the game based on its first initial gameplay mechanics. Now, that's not me saying that the game is perfect on release, far from it. Last year with FIFA 22, one of the biggest issues were goalkeepers inside the box. They would save everything. You actually had a much higher chance of scoring a goal with a finesse shot outside the box than you did scoring inside the box. And this was a problem. It should be easier for you to score inside the box compared to anything else, but it just wasn't the case. So fans were asking for a title update which would nerf goalkeepers inside the box but also give them a buff for shots outside the box. And yes, EA did make these changes, but on top of that they made a lot of other changes to gameplay which players were fine with. Gameplay suddenly felt slower, passes didn't feel as good as what they were feeling before. And even though finesse shots outside the box were nerfed, there was also an increase in defender logic, which did also mean that there was a lot more blocks. And in some cases it made sense for there to be a block, but in other cases we're talking about defenders rushing out way quicker than what they should be able to. In some cases it felt like you as the attacker, you can slot it to the right where there is a defender, or instead you could slot it to the left of the goal where you have a much higher chance of scoring. You would aim left but the ball would still go right. And these were the changes that ultimately led players to say that the patch yet again has ruined the game. Now of course it is way too early to talk about what should be fixed and what shouldn't because FIFA 23 hasn't been released yet, but I'm sure we will see the first patch and there will be quite a bit of upset. It's just a pattern EA follows every single year, because there simply will always be players playing this game which don't understand the gameplay mechanics. They will complain about those gameplay mechanics and it forces EA to make those changes for that type of player, even though that opinion isn't representing the rest of the community. The next fear that I've seen some people talk about is now because of cross-platform, especially with transfer markets, if there is a problem, it no longer just affects the one platform, but it affects everyone. Now the example I'm going to give is taking it to the extreme, but I've been an Ultimate Team player since the very beginning, and I understand quite a lot of problems that we've gone through in previous Ultimate Teams. One of the lowest moments was within FIFA 15, not because it had bad gameplay, but because of the transfer market. This was the year when coin selling sites were going crazy simply because of the amount of problems within FUT. It made farming coins incredibly easy. There were so many illegitimate coins in the market that supply was so much higher than demand. Even though demand itself was still fairly high, the supply was just ridiculous, and would lead to you being able to buy 100,000 coins in Ultimate Team for just 1 or 2 quid, making it a no-brainer for players to buy coins even if there was a risk that you could be scammed and lose everything. But because it was so cheap, it was worth risking this instead of buying FIFA points. But this caused another problem. Everyone was rich within the game and could easily buy the best players, but there wasn't an increase in players that did remain in the transfer market, because the only way that they could have been added to the game was if people bought FIFA points and used those FIFA points to open packs. So even though supply was high with demand being low for the purchase of coins, it was the complete opposite when it comes to using those coins to buy players. The demand was incredibly high for the likes of Messi, Ronaldo, and even legends over on the Xbox, but because there wasn't an increase in the amount of those players on the transfer market, it wasn't long until those players just shot up in price. We're talking about a normal rare gold Messi being valued at 2.9 million coins, with a normal rare gold Ronaldo being valued at 2.6 million coins. It got so bad that breakdown analysis of why Ultimate Team was paid to win were being posted all over the forums. There were Reddit posts highlighting that a normal rare gold Ronaldo valued at 2.6 million coins, with the average coin per game being around 900 coins, it's going to take you 2,888 games just for you to get that type of player. And this was before game modes such as SBCs, Division Rivals, Foot Champions, so there wasn't this high reward gameplay. And this is the exact moment in which EA brought in price ranges which made players just go completely extinct off the market. Now the reason that I'm going through this whole story is because even though this was a major problem, each platform was separate. Xbox was definitely the popular platform at the time because they had exclusivity with FIFA. That's where you could play with legends on Xbox, but PlayStation, they had nothing. And Xbox definitely had the worst of it with the amount of illegitimate coins on the platform. They were so much more expensive than what you saw on other platforms, especially PlayStation. PlayStation definitely had it a lot better. But this time around, because we all have a shared transfer market, well, at least with Xbox, PlayStation, and Stadia, with PC and Nintendo having their own separate shared transfer market, it does mean that if there is a problem, it's likely going to affect everyone. If a player is extinct, it's now going to be a lot harder to snipe that card because there's going to be a lot more people trying to search for them. If there is a rich player or a community that manipulates the market, it goes against everyone. And if there is a major problem with trading, it doesn't just hurt one platform, it hurts the whole community. Now, of course, there are some positives to this. Because everything is shared, it does mean that items by itself, there should be a lot more of them. As long as EA gets the pack weight correct, which I feel like they did a pretty good job with it within FIFA 22, there was a lot of players available on the transfer market and a lot of them were reasonably priced. In fact, a lot of them are incredibly cheap right now, making players a lot more attainable so that those that don't play this game as much can still buy into those good cards and still have a very good Ultimate Team without needing to do what we had to do back in FIFA 15, which was buy coins just so that we can actually try out some of these players. But it does also mean if there is any problems, it does affect everyone. Now, the last worry that players have is, of course, EA themselves making some ridiculous mistakes. And they have already made some ridiculous mistakes already for FIFA 23, and the game hasn't even officially released yet, but they still released FIFA 23 1 month early on Xbox. This was a costly mistake because not only did players get access to the game, but those players, of course, were going to leak items as well as gameplay features. We saw ratings for a number of different players. And even though there's a lot of people saying that those ratings aren't true, we're also seeing EA go round and they're banning people. They're banning those that have shared clips of the game, have shared footage or even screenshots. And if your gamer tag or your ID, your name, whatever it is shown within those clips, EA are going the extra length making sure to ban your account, even though they are the ones that did make the mistake in the first place. It's likely at some point EA is going to release something that they shouldn't have. It might be something that they should never have released in the first place, or it could just be the case of it being a lot sooner than what was originally advertised. And this isn't just one mistake where they've done it with FIFA 23 being announced 1 full month early, but they've also got pricings wrong where they sold the game a lot cheaper than what it should have been. And also in previous years, we've seen it on a number of occasions where players are gifted rewards which they never should have been gifted. They've been able to pack players which they never should have had. Last year, and I benefited from this, if you had a normal Eriksen within your club, he was automatically upgraded. And just by luck, because I was trading with Eriksen at the time, I had several of them ready to sell. This led to me making quite a lot of coins just because I was able to not sell them for a few thousand coins at a time, but I was able to sell them for the maximum price of his special card. These type of mistakes are common for EA, and even though this is probably the less serious one in the whole grand scheme of things within this video, if they mess up, it's likely that you're going to benefit, especially if you are paying attention to the FIFA community and you're part of different types of Discord groups, as well as you're following some of the most influential people on Twitter. But I'm also confident there will be moments in which you just miss out. Maybe next year you miss out on not being able to have that player within your club when everyone else does so happen to have that player, which is automatically upgraded to their 95 rated special card. Now everyone has a new 95 rated card without having to do anything for it, whereas you miss out, and EA are not going to take away that special card from those other players, and they're certainly not going to give you one. This by itself puts you at a disadvantage, and I'm sure this will happen several times this year within FIFA 23. Anyway guys, these are just some of the player worries that we have this year within FIFA 23 Ultimate Team. If there's some other stuff that you're starting to second guess, then please feel free to leave them in the comment section down below. But anyway guys, I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did enjoy, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. But for now, I'm going to see ya.